We all know that these deep blue cities, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, have these horrible policies that are brought about by people who don't live in the rougher parts of the neighborhood. Similar situation is going on in Boston. There's a neighborhood called Beacon Hill, where the average home price sits at about $2.3 million, according to Realtor. But they now are seeing the drug addicts, the transients come into their neighborhood, and for the last several months have been going to city council meetings saying this needs to stop. Alex, I feel like this is what it's going to have to take. We saw this with DeSantis shipping illegals up to Martha's Vineyard. We've seen this with a bunch of different places of, hey, deal with these problems in your neighborhood and see how much you like it. Do you think the tide is shifting, or do you think it's gotten so bad in these blue cities that the elites that perpetuate it are finally going to start speaking up?
Well, no, I really honestly think it's like the Hunger Games, and I know we use that cliche a lot, but there's literally no middle class. I just saw some study, the amount of people that are, in their 30s that own a house and have a kid compared to the 1960s is down like 1,000%. I mean, it's incredible how far we have fallen as a society, and really the indication that it shows me is that we don't have a middle class. You're either ultra wealthy or you're homeless, and I think Boston is a good example of that. Like, being such a classic city, it's priced out all the normal people. It's just these Harvard elites that can afford to live there, or the bums that live on the street that don't even want to go to a homeless shelter because they're so strung out on fentanyl. So I don't know if this will actually be a wake-up call, because I see in New York, I think Mom Donnie has a very good chance to win if Curtis Leawood, I think he's their only chance to defeat him, and he's ran a bunch of times and haven't won. So I guess it's just a product of their environment, and it's actually it's socially engineered to be that way, to have no middle class and have ultra rich people, having to step over homeless people on their way to the country club.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing to watch unfold. Chris, the only reason I think this was brought to the media's attention is because this happens to be the neighborhood that John Kerry lives in. According to the Boston Public Health Commission, there was a 47.1% increase in mortality rates due to drug use over 2020 to 2022 versus 2017 to 2019. I know there's kind of a lot of years dates there, but basically they've gone up by 50% drug use mortality rates in this particular neighborhood. Same question that Alex answered. Do you think this is going to be a wake-up call, or do you think this is going to be a continued slip into the separation of the elites and the homeless?
Yeah, no. They'll throw money at the problem, but we've seen them throw money at the problem. I believe it was Portland. They threw like $700 million at homelessness last fiscal year, and they saw it increase by like 70%. It was something ridiculous. But no. In Boston, you have Mayor Michelle Wu running the city, and while she doesn't allow whites to go to her Christmas party, she's fine with them shooting up on the streets. And it's insane. I grew up outside of Boston, and the drug use there, man, it is wild how much fentanyl is going through there. A lot of my friends have passed away in that area because of overdoses. And it's heartbreaking. I mean, they make their own choices, and that sucks. They shouldn't make those choices. But for the city to enable it, it gets real messy. It was 2022, Michelle Wu started having a needle exchange program in a lot of these areas, and you've seen the problem get incrementally worse. It seems like every time the left has a solution, it's not a solution at all. Sure, they'll make a little bit of money here and there with their nonprofits, but they don't ever fix the problem, and I don't think they want to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, that seems to be the problem, is they'll throw money at it, but then they'll also pocket that money when the money goes to the people that are in their pocket.